hearings. So we want to come up with the bill, but how can we do that if the resource persons who are experts, who can help us with the technical aspect of the bill, are not here or are not able to answer the questions or discuss the provisions of the bill? So, warning, next week I intend to have another hearing on this. So you have to be here. The head of agency has to be here, or whoever they send should be able to answer the questions of the committee. Is that clear to all the resource persons? Okay. So we'll now proceed with the AMLA, the Anti-Money Laundering Council.
Yes,
Please identify yourself.
I'm Attorney Anthony Lawrence Morales of the Anti-Money Laundering Council, Madam Chair. I would like to also apologize for just like in the case of OSG, because as you may know, the Anti-Money Laundering Council is headed by a council which can only act unanimously, and given that that unanimity requirement for the approval of our position paper, we cannot provide for today the formal position paper of the AMLAC, but we can already share the general comments for that we have submitted for the council, Madam Chair.
We continue. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our another vice chairperson from the Lone District of San Juan, Honorable Isabel Maria Zamora. See, you can proceed.
Yes, Madam Chair. We have just few comments on the draft bill. Our first comment is for the short title, Madam Chair. Maybe it's not that material, but for purposes, Madam Chair, of being specific and to avoid confusion, considering that we have so many civil forfeiture remedies under more prominent laws, Madam Chair, particularly the Anti-Money Laundering Act, the Terrorism Financing Prevention and Suppression Act, the Anti-Terrorism Act, Madam Chair, and even our Illegal Ill-Gotten Wealth Act, Madam Chair, all provide for a civil forfeiture remedy. We propose, Madam Chair, that the short title be renamed or be called in other nomenclature. We propose, Madam Chair, titles such as Foreign Acquired Realty Forfeiture Act or Foreign Acquired Land Forfeiture Act instead of a generic Civil Forfeiture Act, Madam Chair.
Can you hold on? Kong Luistro, would you consider would you consider the proposal of the wish?
Can you kindly state the proposed title, short title?
It's either a Foreign Acquired Realty Forfeiture Act, or if we want to be more specific with land, Foreign Acquired Land Forfeiture Act, Madam Chair.
Actually, the purpose of this bill is not to confine the forfeiture to land, but even the properties erected thereon. And as far as we are concerned, everything that is erected on a real property are considered real property as well.
Madam Chair. So in that case, Madam Chair, maybe the committee can consider Foreign Acquired Realty Forfeiture Act. Realty is short for real property, Madam Chair, which is also an accepted nomenclature for real property or real estate.
Is it not that the meaning is the same? Foreign Acquired Real Property Forfeiture Act.
Yes, Madam Chair. The version of the bill that's what's referred to as states that the short title shall be called Civil Forfeiture Act, Madam Chair.
Short title.
You are referring only to the short title.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, but the long title, just to distinguish, is okay with you.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Foreign Acquired Real Property Act.
Forfeiture Act.
Forfeiture Act. Real Property Forfeiture Act. That is acceptable, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong Luistro. You may proceed.
Yes, Madam Chair. For our second comment, Madam Chair, with regard to Section 5, we noticed that the wordings are probably adapted from our law on forfeiture of ill-gotten wealth. So it states that any taxpayer may file a complaint before a city or provincial prosecutor although we recognize that the term citizen is already wide enough to cover everyone who can file a complaint before the city or provincial prosecutor, maybe the committee may consider including the term or any taxpayer or government agency, because in most instances we may it's the government agency concerns who will learn about this possible acquisition of foreign land or real estate by foreigners, Madam Chair.
Okay, Kong Jinky.
Madam Chair, I accept the proposition that instead of taxpayer, we use any Filipino citizen.
That would suffice, Madam Chair.
Just to clarify, we do not add any more government agency, Kong Jinky.
I believe, Madam Chair, that when we use any Filipino citizen, that would necessarily include already even the government offices in the Philippines.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Taxpayer.
Finally, Madam Chair, just for the section 13 of the bill with regard to the issuance of the implementing rules and regulations, we noticed that the proposed provision designates the head of the agency to be the one who will issue the implementing rules and regulations. We just noticed that in most laws where there's a provision for the issuance of implementing rules, it's the agency itself and not the head, for just to give flexibility, Madam Chair. So instead of the Solicitor General shall, in coordination with the secretaries, so it will be the Office of the Solicitor General in coordination with the departments of the identified departments, Madam Chair. And for the Anti-Money Laundering, it should be the Anti-Money Laundering Council as an agency and not the chairman, Madam Chair.
Kong Jinky.
The proposition is accepted, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's all, Madam Chair. Subject to also the submission of our formal position paper, which will already include what I have manifested, Madam Chair.
Okay, so now we go to the LRA.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Attorney Elizalde, Director for the Legal Service of the agency. First of all, I would like to apologize because we did not bring the position paper. However, it will be submitted later through email if that is acceptable, Madam Chair. And we support the bill, of course, and we only have 2 comments on the matter, which is going to be reflected in our position paper. In section 3, respecting civil forfeiture, it is stated any real estate property transferred or conveyed to unqualified foreign national is null and void. I think this is the provision is muddy. I think our proposition is that it should be stated in this way: any conveyance of title of real estate property to unqualified foreign national, natural or juridical, in violation of the constitutional prohibition is null and void. What we are speaking here is the transaction, the transfer, not the realty itself. So that was overlooked. We just happened to see it yesterday. And secondly, yes,
Can you hold
I'm
on?
sorry.
We'll allow the author to comment on your comment. Yes,
Thank you, Your Honors.
Madam Chair, I acknowledge the point of the resource person and I subscribe to his opinion, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat po. And there's one more thing. Section 5, it appears that there is no provision on injunction. What we would like the authors to add po is that there is a provision that injunction or a restraining order be issued to the Register of Deeds of the city or province where the land is located, so that they can freeze any transactions which may be made on the property. We would like this because it is the Register of Deeds who has possession of the titles and not the Land Registration Authority, which merely has administrative control over these offices. If it would please the committee, we would like a provision to be included on injunction or a restraining order.
Kong Jinky?
Madam Chair, I wish to bring this to the committee members because I understand that the Register of Deeds are under the Office of the Land Registration Authority. I am more concerned about the bigger perspective rather than pertaining to specific Register of Deeds only. So, may we solicit the opinion of the other committee members? There is no issue about the issuance of TRO, perhaps an injunction later on. However, as to against whom we're going to issue the same, whether it should be the specific Register of Deeds or the Land Registration Authority itself, in order to encompass all the illegally acquired properties, let us solicit first the opinion of the other committee members.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, for the enlightenment of the committee, may we request the Register of Deeds of, or the LRA? How do we distinguish the LRA from RD in as far as the mandate is concerned? It's quite confusing because I believe that the central office is the LRA and all the Register of Deeds are under the supervision and control of the LRA. That's what I understand.
Who would like to answer that? The LRA?
Yes, Your
go ahead.
Honors.
Please proceed.
The concern here is actually the law, Presidential Decree 1529, or the Property Registration Decree, mandates that the control over title shall be with the registers of deeds and not the LRA. Now, we could receive the injunction at the central office, but we would have to course it down to the Registry of Deeds. This would be faster in line with Presidential Decree 1529, which gives jurisdiction over the titles upon the registers of deeds. It is a matter of convenience and expeditiousness, Your Honors.
Yes, Kong Acharon.
Madam Chair, are we talking here of a prospective provision on injunction that is going to be enforced against the Register of Deeds or the LRA? I think, Madam Chair, the statement of the representative from the LRA is well. The provisions also of the rules of court in the issuance of injunction, which is actually territorial. So if you impose it against a office which is not within the territory of the property against which the injunction order is going to be implemented, then it's not going to. It's not going to apply really. So I agree that the injunction should be against the Register of Deeds, which is the actual and final implementing agency as to the issuance of the title. So I agree that the prospective injunctive relief will be against the registered deeds, not the LRA.
Kong Jinky.
Madam Chair, in line with the manifestation of the resource speaker and the Honorable Sharon, and considering the clear provision of PD number 1529, we subscribe to the proposition that the injunction be issued to the RD and not to the LRA. However, Madam Chair, I wish to bring to the attention of the committee as well that apart from the registered properties, the huge number of properties which are unregistered. And I believe that the Register of Deeds and even the LRA have no control over the same. The one who has control over its issuance and transfer are the provincial assessors, the city and the municipal assessors. So I understand that this bill will still be subject to a lot of revisions, but I wish to manifest the intention of the author to include provincial assessor, city assessor, and municipal assessor every time the LRA and the Register of Deeds are mentioned in this bill, so as to include even the unregistered lands.
Noted. That is noted. Any other comments from the LRA?
The LRA has no more comments.
Thank you. Now we go to the DILG.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and to the members of the esteemed committee. The Department of the
Please
Interior...
introduce yourself first and your...
I am Attorney Ross Bascuña. I'm the Director for Legal and Legislative Liaison of the Department, Madam Chair.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Department of the Interior and Local Government fully supports the proposed bill on civil forfeiture of unlawfully acquired real properties by foreign nationals. House Bill 11043 aligns with the principles of good governance, accountability, and national sovereignty, which are fundamental to maintaining the integrity of our country's laws and protecting the interests of the Filipino people. The department recognizes the increasing concerns surrounding the unlawful acquisition of land by foreign nationals, which not only undermines the intent of land ownership laws, but also compromises national security and economic stability. By instituting a legal mechanism for the forfeiture of real properties obtained through legal means, this bill will empower the state to reclaim such properties, ensuring they are returned to rightful ownership and promote fairness within our legal framework. The department is committed to assisting in the effective implementation of this law, including thorough close coordination with relevant local government units, law enforcement agencies, and other stakeholders to ensure that its provisions are upheld and that any illicit activities are addressed appropriately. Thank you, Madam Chair. We will be submitting our finalized and signed position paper within the week, Madam Chair.
Okay, we now proceed to the DOF. Any representative from the DOF? Okay, DAR, representative from the DAR.
Good morning, Your Honors, Madam Chair. I am Attorney Eugene Foliante, the OIC Assistant Secretary for Legal Affairs, Ali Ala, representing the department, Your Honors. May I continue? Yes, Your Honors. Like the others, we don't have yet the finalized comments from the department, but I can verbalize, Your Honors, some of our points in support of the proposed bill. Number 11043, entitled An Act Providing for the Civil Forfeiture in favor of the state, any unlawfully acquired real estate properties by any foreign national, Your Honors. The Department of Agrarian Reform is in full support of this measure. The department is the lead agency in the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program through land tenure improvement, agrarian justice, and coordinated delivery of essential support, and land tenure improvement, agrarian justice, and coordinated delivery of essential support services to client beneficiaries. Through the effective implementation of the CORP, the DAR seeks to contribute to the attainment of the following goals of the rural development sector, thus agrarian, peace and stability, sustainable development, social justice, and industrialization in the countryside. As the lead agency of the government, tasked to uphold and implement comprehensive and genuine agrarian reform, which actualizes equitable land distribution, ownership, agricultural productivity, and tenure security for, and with the tillers of the land towards the improvement of their quality of life, the intention to forfeit those illegally acquired properties is well within the purview of the program. Your Honors, Section 5 of this measure, proposed measure, giving jurisdiction to the regional trial courts on forfeiture of illegally acquired properties, we would like to impress to this honorable committee that the Office of the Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform has the authority under RA 9700, 6657 as amended by RA 9700. It is now within the jurisdiction of the Office of the Secretary to cancel those DAR issued titles. Considering that a lot of illegally transferred titles involves agricultural lands that were already covered by the Department of Agrarian Reform, and I'm sure 90% of those cases might be those already covered by the Department of Agrarian Reform. In that view, it is now the Office of the Secretary of the DAR that has the authority to cancel. Now, we are proposing, Madam Chair, that the action, jurisdiction, with respect to those for forfeiture of those lands that were already covered by the department should be lodged with the department, Your Honor. Because if we will allow the RTC to process these forfeiture matters, it might transgress the jurisdiction of the Office of the Secretary. And another one, Madam Chair, it will hasten, if it is an administrative forfeiture being done before the Department of Land Reform, it will hasten the processes. And it will, unlike in, I'm sorry for this term, unlike with the regular courts, because of the processes in our regular courts, it has to drag on, Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Chair.
Before you continue, we'll ask Kong Luiso to make a comment.
Madam Chair, I'm lost about the manifestation of the DAR resource speaker, because my understanding is that when the title is DAR issued, the recipient of the title is a Filipino citizen qualified under CARP.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Tama ba?
Yes, Madam Chair.
And I understand that in the titles which are being issued by the DAR, there is a certain prohibition period.
10-year holding period, Madam Chair.
And after 10 years,
they can dispose it.
They can dispose it. Who issues the transfer of the title? Who facilitates the transfer of the title? Is it not at the LRA pa rin?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes. So it is quite confusing that you are manifesting about the transfer of title which is being done by DAR.
Madam Chair, there are illegal transfers being done in the provinces that will, for example, a beneficiary may sell it to a foreigner, may sell it to unqualified owner, no? So it has to be adjudicated before the office of the DAR. So in that view, those titles that were transferred to those unqualified persons like the foreigners may also be cancelled, Madam Chair.
If the transfer is done within the prohibition period, I believe that whether he is a foreigner or Filipino citizen is not material anymore.
Yes, sir.
Whatever transfer done within the period of 10 years, as you have said, are considered illegal.
Yes,
So I think we're going outside the context of the civil forfeiture, which is the subject matter of this bill. And I wish to submit, Madam Chair, that in as far as illegally acquired by foreign nationals are concerned, the proper agency must be given the mandate to take hold of these properties still is the Register of Deeds in the LRA. And of course, the provincial assessors for the unregistered. The authority of the DAR is in line with the implementation of CARP, and I understand that there are illegal transfers in violation of the CARP. However, this is quite outside the context already of the illegally acquired properties by foreign nationals. Nonetheless, I appreciate your manifestation, and I wish to bring to the attention of the LRA and the RD and the assessors that we should focus not only on non-agricultural, but even agricultural, because I understand that most of the illegally transferred really are agricultural properties. And let me take advantage also of this chance to remind the DAR that the office had a very great participation in as far as this anomaly is concerned, because notwithstanding the stringent requirement for the conversion of the property, reclassification of the property, we do not understand really how these foreign nationals were able to facilitate the reclassification, the conversion from agricultural to commercial or industrial in so short a period of time, a period of around 6 months. Alam po natin, napakahirap ng conversion process. And I am anticipating that the Quad will likewise be coming up with a bill that pertains to the land conversion. Siguro kailangan din po natin higpitan. But this time, it's not about the transfer. It's about the mandate about conversion of the land. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong Luis Ros. So, any other comments from?
Yes, we thank you for the comment, Madam Chair. We also support, Madam Chair, Section 10 with respect to the disposal of those forfeited agricultural lands in favor of our agrarian farm beneficiaries. This is well within the mandate of the department. We thank you for including this provision, Section 10, paragraph A, Madam Chair. And Our other comments, Madam Chair, shall be forwarded within the week. Actually, it's being drafted. We're so sorry, Madam Chair. We beg the indulgence of the Honorable Committee. It was just referred to me yesterday. Last afternoon yesterday. So I haven't prepared the written comment from the department. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So I think we've already asked all the are there any other resource persons that we have not called?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
can we solicit just a little comment on the issue that the Honorable Jinky Luistro was discussing with the DAR about just a little, maybe.
Enumerate mo ano requirements.
Yeah, may we ask of the LRA regarding the issue?
Hillary.
Just on the issue that you just discussed with the.
About the land conversion.
Yes,
Pero
yes.
sa Darian eh.
Dario.
Kong Ton, I think that's a different committee. Yeah. Agrarian reform.
Not a conversion, by the way, Madam Chair, just a point of discussion, academic discussion. Is there not a conversion thing or matter in the local government unit?
There is reclassification. We call it reclassification.
That's why it's being done. You can do it quick there if you have the you have the numbers.
We need really Congressman Achuron, the Honorable Achuron, to draw the definite line between reclassification, the process we do in the LGU, Sangguniang Bayan, and the land conversion. Because parang nag-overlap ito eh. As you've said, if you have the numbers, land which are supposed to go through the process of conversion, doon nila dinadala sa LGU to simplify. And we've seen a lot of that in Pampanga in a period of like 3 months, 4 months. One hearing only. And the agricultural land is instantly reclassified into industrial commercial land.
So maybe our members can file the appropriate House resolution so that the appropriate committee can discuss those issues.
Is it not because of the power granted by the local government go to the local government, giving them the power to convert the land conversion?
Madam Chair, I understand that the LGU has the authority to do the reclassification. However, it's high time already that we draw the line between the conversion process under the Department of Agrarian Reform and the reclassification, which is under the local government unit, because they are being mixed and mistakenly facilitated as one and the same. Pag ang kaibigan mo nasa DAR, you do the conversion, pero kung wala kang kaibigan doon, and like what Honorable Achuron said, you have the number in the LGU, what you do is reclassification. No? Let us draw the definite line in between these two processes, including the requirements that we need. Thank you.
First Nedi, any other? Are you okay? So before we proceed, I would like to inform the committee that the court administrator submitted a letter that he is precluded from providing a comment on the subject House bill. As such, a statement could potentially preempt any future legal challenges brought before the Supreme Court, particularly on the validity or constitutionality of the aforesaid legislation. Be that as it may, and wanting to preliminarily contribute to the discussion, allow me to submit a copy of AM number 051104, the Supreme Court, dated November 15, 2005, on the rule of procedure in cases of civil forfeiture, asset preservation, and freezing of monetary instrument, property, or proceeds representing, involving, or relating to an unlawful activity or money laundering offense under RA 9160 as amended. Perhaps this will give the committee an initial idea about what the Supreme Court has done so far as civil forfeiture that may, as being contemplated by the proposed measure, specifically apply to foreign nationals. So that is the letter of the court administrator. Maybe we can also consider that their comment. Ong Jinky.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we've heard all the resource persons, what is the pleasure of the committee?
Madam Chair, can I make a,
Yes,
I just have a short comment.
Yes,
I noticed that some
Councilmember.
of the provisions here, some of the sections are procedural in nature. For example, we have the filing and venue, and then the next one is contents of the petition, period for answer. And then a few sections later, it's already about the disposal of the property successfully acquired through civil forfeiture proceedings. So for me, it's a little lacking in that we jump from the procedural aspect of the case to disposal without any mention of judgment. I know there's a, here there is the AM 21.3.13 of SC, there's a rule on asset preservation, there's a forfeiture order, but maybe since we already put some sections on procedure here, maybe we can close it by putting a procedure on maybe judgment or decision of the RTC. Just to
Madam Chair, we wish to solicit the legal contribution of the Honorable Zamora. And as far as House Bill number 11043, we are open to adding provisions to this bill and submitting the same in as far as the form and style necessary is concerned.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So what is the pleasure of the committee?
Motion to suspend.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I understand that we still have some other matters to be discussed this afternoon. So meantime, I respectfully move that we suspend today's hearing, Mr. Chair, until, Madam Chair, until this afternoon.
Second. So the meeting is suspended. Thank you, and we will see you at 1 o'clock. Please. Thank you.